in there to go. And I think with our best teammate running 10th and the other guys having two teammates ahead of our best one, it just, our car didn't have enough speed to go up there and compete.
All right. Well, we are now also joined by Brad Keselowski, who is utilizing our chat, I believe, and Joey Logano as well. So as a reminder, if you have a question for any of these guys, make sure that you just initiate their conversation first, and we will go to Bob Pockris next. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, this is for Brad. Do you get any explanation on why the pit stops were slow, and do you think that pretty much cost you?
No, I haven't had a chance to look at that. Obviously, end of stage 2 is right where I wanted to be in the lead, and we lost a spot, so it's not fun, but it's a team effort, and it was tough to fight back through. We got up the second there at the end, and I feel like we were pretty equal, the 9 car, and I would have loved to had a chance to race it out, but it's not the way it played out.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll take our next one from Jeff Magliochetti. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hey guys, congratulations on a strong season. This is for anybody who wishes to answer this one. So we've just completed one of the most unusual seasons, if not the most unusual in NASCAR history. After a year like this, how excited are you guys for the future?
Well, if you can get through a year like this in your NASCAR, it certainly bodes well. The only thing left was an asteroid strike, but I thought it was really amazing what the sport was able to achieve, that we're able to get all the races in, and to be here today and have a great race for a championship. I think that's really impressive, and NASCAR maybe doesn't get enough credit for being able to pull all that off, considering the landscape. I think there's no shortage of us, including myself, that are quick to criticize, but I think we should also be quick to applaud for everything that's happened this year, and them to be able to pull all this off, run all the races, and do it at a high level.
Thank you.
Take our next question from Jordan Bianchi. Go ahead, Jordan.
Brad, with the speed in your car today and everything, does it feel like this one maybe got away?
Yeah, yes and no. I feel like I did all I could do. With that in mind, you try to shake it off and move on. I can't change anything about what happened, and I hate it for my guys that that's the way it played out, but so it goes.
All right, we'll take our next question from Daniel McFadden. Go ahead, Daniel.
Yes, Denny, at what point over the course of the race did you begin to maybe realize your car wasn't going to have what you needed to be able to challenge for the top spot?
I don't know. I up until the last stage, the leader was always 12 lengths in front of me, but there was always a car or two between. I don't know. We just, I thought early on in the race we were pretty good. I think we caught the 22 late in the run, but then, I saw the 9 coming through the field, and then I saw even on the long run he was reeling us all in. So we just, we didn't have enough car potential for us. Where our balance was not bad, maybe a little bit off, but just not enough in reserve. I think the other Penske and Hendrick both had 2 teammates inside the top 10 before we even got to our next best Toyota teammates. So it just, our organization's got to get a little bit better on these types of tracks, and especially, it being that's going to be the deciding factor in the championship. It's we just overall got to get a little bit better. And so for me, I knew probably around lap 200 that, we needed some special circumstances to kind of go our way.
All right. Do we have any questions in here for Joey Logano? Let's get him a question. Let me know.
I do.
Go ahead, Tucker.
This is technically for all 3 of you. I'll start with Joey, since she brought it up. What effect did the PJ1 have on this race today? Because I noticed it kind of made it times was hard to even pass, especially for the lead there.
It was, similar to what it was here in the spring. The width of it was a little bit different, but not much different than what we had. I thought the racing was actually pretty good because of it. I'm pretty certain, almost 100% certain, that it would not be as good without the PJ1. We've raced this racetrack for years without it, and it wasn't the best of races. So I feel like it's helped the passing some, at least helps the car behind him, behind you, be able to stay close to you enough to maybe, free the car up in front of you. We saw a lot of passes made that way where cars were backing air on each other to free them up, and a lot of passes were made like that. So PJ1 helps that. It still makes it very challenging to pass. It's not an easy track to pass. It's not easy to pass anyone in the Cup Series. The best drivers in stock cars right here. So everybody knows what they're doing is going to make passing a lot harder than other series.
Anything else from Denny and Brad there?
No.
All
All right.
right.
We'll go to our next one. Jose Romero, go ahead.
Hey, this question is for Joey. Joey, you led for the first 119 laps. How well did that bode for you, did you think? And did you figured something was going to happen after that, but to get off to that kind of start, were you feeling pretty good?
Yeah, we had a great start. We had good track position. Our pit crew was on it just like they've been, this whole playoffs. I've said it before, they're a pressure team. They love the pressure, and they truly rise to the occasion. And they did that the whole race. They did it even the last stop on the green, was able to get ourselves out in front of the 9 by a pretty good distance. And like I said, the 9 just kind of fired off a lot faster and kept going. And then we get another tire vibration there towards the end. Last 25 laps, 30 laps of the run. So, I thought we were in good spot. We were right with the 9 right before the green flag cycle, and was able to come out in front of him. And then, like I said, he just had a lot of speed that last run. I really found something.
All right. We'll take our next one from Michael Knight. Michael, you might be on mute. Okay, we can circle back. Mark Garrow, go ahead.
Thank you. This is for Joey and Brad. Guys, to be so close, I mean, performance-wise, you guys were there. How disappointing is it to have a car potential to win and then not to have it just kind of slip away there at the end for both of you? I'd love to hear what you both had to say about that, please.
Well, obviously, when you don't win, it hurts. It definitely stings. I told the guys before the race started, though, I said in these situations, when you get to the championship 4, you can't lose. You either win or you become stronger. Unfortunately, we got stronger today, and we learned a lot about ourselves and learned that we are capable, right? We're capable of executing when we needed to. We just needed to go faster. That was the one thing. So, but I think overall, there's a lot to be proud of throughout the season, where we've come from, how much we've grown as a team, especially with the crew chief swap. Throughout in the beginning of the season this year, and without practice, that was a pretty big hurdle to try to jump. And I feel like we've done a good job through the playoffs, really coming into our own. That makes me really excited about 2021 because we're starting way further ahead than where we did this year. With the schedule being somewhat similar with limited practice sessions, I feel a lot better going the next year than we did this year. So, a lot to be proud of. You need to look at the silver linings. You need to look at your mistakes and where you could be better. It still doesn't take the pain away, but that's how you get by at least.
All right, we've got time for a couple more. We'll go Michael Knight and then Jerry Jordan.
Could Brad answer that too?
Oh,
Brad,
so sorry, Mark. Go ahead.
That's okay. Brad, just a question of, sometimes you get in these situations and you don't have a chance. You guys had a chance, and what's the disappointment level knowing that you had a chance and it got away as opposed to getting blown out?
Oh, shoot. I thought all the tough questions were only for Joey. No, I feel like I did all I could do today. I mean, certainly I'm disappointed, but I'm also proud. At the same time, my team brought a great car, and we ran a hell of a race. Won stage 2 and made a convincing case that, probably could have won the race today, but it just didn't come together, with the track position. So, I can be disappointed at that, or I think I'm probably more focused on the positives. We're really fast. I feel like I ran a great race, and I'm proud of that.
All right, now we'll go Michael Knight and then Jerry Jordan. Go ahead, Michael.
Yes, for Brad, I asked you earlier in the week what you thought the effect of you having the choose line rule here for the first time would be. How did that play out based on your anticipation? And also, it didn't seem like we saw as much aggressive dive bombing down onto the apron as maybe we've seen in the past.
Yeah.
Could you tell me why? And lastly, for all three or whoever might comment, when you heard that Chase was going to have to start at the back today, what went through your mind?
Well, first off, on the choose rule, I mean, I think it would have been a bigger deal if we got a late race yellow. We didn't get any yellows at the end of the race. The truck race, the Xfinity race, there was a bunch of yellows at the end, and we didn't see a yellow, I think, the entire last stage, if I remember right. So it's hard for that to be a factor, the choose rule, when you don't have a lot of restarts. And I think that's why you didn't see any of those moves and things like that in the Cup race. But what was the other question? I'm sorry.
For you or whoever else would want to comment, when you heard that Chase was going to have to start at the back, what did you think?
No, just for me personally, Cup races are so long. It's really not a big deal, and stage points didn't really matter for this race. So just didn't feel like it was a big deal.
Yeah. Thank you.
No problem.
All right, so we have some more drivers coming in, including Cole Custer and Jimmy Johnson. So we have time for three more. We'll go Jerry Jordan, Lee Spencer, and John Haverling. Go ahead, Jerry.
Jerry Jordan, kickingthetires.net. For whoever's there, obviously not the outcome that any of y'all wanted today, but are you guys glad to put 2020 behind you? And what do you take away for the 2021 season, to going into this off season?
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of fun this year. I can't speak for everyone else, but, we fought through everybody. The industry fought through a lot of stuff, and we ran great races and put on great shows. I miss not having the fans, but also enjoyed being able to spend more time at home with my family on Thursdays and Fridays that we would have never had before. So, it's a bizarre year, but, the obstacle is kind of the way, and we made the most of it.
Joey?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think when you look at what the sport was able to do together, working together, the guys that are out there, trying to win every week, do anything for a win, was able to all come together as one. And I think, everyone should be very proud of that. The sport should be proud of that. Every partner that's involved had some kind of idea of how to go back racing. I think Steve O'Donnell and NASCAR did, everybody at NASCAR should be very proud and deserve a lot of credit for getting everyone to work together, put working groups together during the pandemic when we were not racing, at least, and being able to come together. In a year where everyone feels so separated in ways I feel like we were united more than ever. So I think there's a lot to be proud of there.
Thank y'all.
All right, we'll go Lee Spencer. Go ahead, Lee.
Thank you, and congratulations, Showman, on a good season. Kind of following up on that, after what we've been through in the pandemic, are there any recommendations? And I ask this because you both are champions and well respected in the sport. Are there any recommendations, from the lessons learned this year that you would take to Daytona, as far as voicing opinions as to what could make the sport more productive in the future?
Yeah, I mean, I think personally, it proves to us that the craziest things you could think of and things that we would never be open to do before this year is possible. And nothing's ever as crazy as you think it is, right? I mean, if you told us we were going to a road course and never have practice and we're just going to line up and race, and you told us that in January, February, we said, you're nuts. That would never happen. We got to have a test session. We have a bunch of practice. It is not possible, right? And we did it, and it was a great race, right, down in Daytona. So I think the biggest thing is just that we can all take away from this is that, we could be more open-minded to change and know that, as different as things feel, eventually it becomes a new normal. And I think that was a big challenge for everybody. Change isn't easy, for anybody, but I think overall, everybody really was open to it and had to, right? You're forced to do it. And now we know what we're capable of as a sport. And I think there's a lot of key learnings from this year, whether, like I said, from scheduling, cost savings, still being able to put on a great race, which is the most important piece for our fans. So looking forward to next year when we can get some fans back to the racetrack, and hopefully we get through this pandemic soon, because it's nice to be able to have a packed out house like we used to have.
Brad?
Yeah, lessons. We can do a lot more with a lot less than we ever thought we could, I think is, what Joey was trying to say. And, I was really encouraged by our ability to stay safe, and not that we were perfect as an industry. I mean, certainly we had a few people get sick, but all in all, it went pretty well. And hopeful that we can bring our fans back for Daytona Speed Weeks. I know a lot of people are pushing hard for that. Sign me up for the club. And, then we got huge initiatives for the sport with the new car and all that. And a lot going on. So, all in all, like I said at the beginning, Lee, I think this year showed that if we can make it through this, then we can make it through a lot of different things. So I'm optimistic to see how that'll play out.
Super. Thank you. Safe travels, gentlemen.
Thanks, Lee.
All right. And our final question for these three will come from John Haverland. Go ahead, John.
Hey guys, if I could have each driver maybe answer this. I just wanted to get everyone's thoughts on having Phoenix as the championship track versus having Homestead now. And would you like to see Phoenix be the track that hosts it for years to come?
Well, I thought it was great. Shoot, the racing was really good. The cars were really hard to drive like they should be, where, maybe that's not the case on the 550 tracks. In general, I thought it was great for the sport. I mean, if you had a fast car, you'd probably like it more than if you didn't. But, in general, I think NASCAR was built on the smaller tracks, and the championship being awarded on them feels right to me.
Yeah, I think it was a great racetrack for today. I thought the racing was pretty good. I'm a fan of moving around like the Super Bowl moves around. I kind of think we should be open to doing things like that. But I think overall, it's going to be an interesting race no matter what. When there's so much on the line and so much pressure, no matter where you go, it is going to be an interesting race, and the top four cars are going to be the top four cars. Because they're the best of the year, and they're going to bring the most to the table when it matters the most. So, I thought the racing was good. There was late race caution like there was in the other two races here this weekend, but I was hoping for it. I wanted to come down pit road one more time and see if we could come out up front and try to get a win, but it was not in the cards today. So overall, I'd say the racing was good.
Penny, did you have anything to add?
No, I think that, I'm good with it moving around. I'm good with it staying here for a little bit. Certainly think that Phoenix Raceway invested money into the fan experience, and any track that does that, deserves to have a big race. And to me, facilities is a big hitter in my mind for the fan experience, and they invested money in it. The city is a sports town. A lot of stuff goes on in this city beyond racing, other sports. So we always have had great crowds here, no matter what's going on. Whether we race two races a year here, and it was a playoff race or not, it was always a packed crowd. So this place deserves the race that it got. But I'm also like Joey. I agree that you should move it around a little bit, but you want to make sure that it's a town and a city and a track that is up to par for what a place like this is.
All right. Well, Denny, Brad, and Joey, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. Congrats on really great seasons, and have a great off season. We'll see you next year.
Thank you. See you next year. Have a great holidays, guys.
You too. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
All right. And to all of the media, we are going to be joined here by Cole Custer momentarily. So we will get him set up. And then after Cole, we will take it to the media center to be joined by our 7-time champion, Jimmy Johnson. So if you have a question for Cole, please click the participants tab and raise your hand, and I will try to get through as many as possible.
Actually, we're going to switch it up a little bit. And yet again, Jimmy Johnson beats the rest of the crowd, this time to his final press conference.
God, I won something this year.
Of his full-time NASCAR Cup Series career. So if you have a question for Jimmy, please raise your hand. And we'll get to as many questions as we can. Like I said, we have a full slate of drivers and champions and folks coming to the media center. So we'll get to as many as we can. Start down here. Bob Pockris, lead us off, please.
Jimmy, what'd you tell Chase when you saw him after the race? And also, do you have any plans like for your helmet, gloves, and that type of stuff?
I don't remember what I said to him. There was a lot of screaming. I remember him saying, "Can you believe it?" And just so happy for him. I'm sure I was saying something along those lines, just how happy I am for him. I saw him on track and left a big donut on the side of his car, and I was able to get a high five as he was coming around to do burnouts, and I was waving goodbye. So certainly a couple cool moments. And helmet and gloves, I haven't thought too far. Chase and I have been talking about a helmet swap, so this might be a good opportunity to swap helmets with him tonight. We'll see how it goes.
Next up, we'll go to Dustin Albino. Go ahead, Dustin.
Yeah, Jimmy, what were the emotions like prior to the race today?
Really just excited to do this, excited to get on track and have this final event. For me, the hardest point was about this time last year when thoughts were heavy in my mind. And I was going to make the decision and made the decision to myself and my family, and then had to go to Rick's house and talk that through with Mr. Hendrick. So that point in time was probably the most emotional and most difficult. And as the year has gone by, many moments of reflection and just pride, and then all of that rolled into today, and just very excited to be on track. And it was nice to be competitive out there and run the top 5, finish in the top 5. But my bucket's full. I mean, this NASCAR has been so wonderful for me. This journey has been more than I could have ever dreamed of or expected or hoped for. And the last couple of years on track weren't as I dreamed up, but I've experienced the highest of highs, and worked with the greatest people, and been with one team through this entire journey. And just very thankful for all the people that have helped me get here. So all those emotions and all that pride rolled up into just a huge smile today, walking out on the grid.
Next up, we'll take Jeff.
Hey, Jimmy, I'm sure it wouldn't have changed, how you view this if you had finished 15th or 10th or something, but to be 5th and only, be the top driver behind the championship does that have any special significance in your last race to go out as that guy that's, just behind those guys?
No, it does. I didn't realize that was the case. And Evie told me that on pit lane. She said, "Daddy, I think you won." I said, "No, I finished 5th." I said, "No, the first 4 cars were in the championship and you beat everybody else." So she brought it to my attention and had her own version of me winning, which I appreciated. But just a good competitive day. And I could see the 11 up there and was slowly catching him, but just kind of ran out of laps. But it was nice to keep my eyes forward and have a great car and race that hard all day long.
Keep it down here and go to Dominic, then Cole.
Dominic Otto going with the Racing Experts. So when you look back on this season, what are some of the biggest lessons you have learned as a competitor? And then I have a follow-up.
Lesson, I would say, I thought I hit bottom a few times, and there was a bottom a little lower than what I envisioned. So, I felt like on track, there were mistakes that I made. We had issues, times where the team made mistakes, had bad luck on track, supposedly had COVID and missed the Brickyard 400. There were just many lows that kept rolling. And, I just when I thought that was it, there was another low, and I just had to figure out how to put a smile on my face and what was important to me and what 2020 was going to be like, regardless of the way things took place on the track. And I really hit that stride, and it doesn't mean I didn't pout from time to time, because performance on track really sets your mood for the week. But I found a way to smile and work through it and finish strong.
And then down the road, when you're looking back on this race this weekend, in particular, today's race in particular, what are you going to remember most, or what's going to stick out the most to you?
Chase Elliott won his first championship. I'm so happy for that guy. Great friend, great family. I've been friends with his mom and dad for a lot of years. I can recall going snowboarding with Bill out in Colorado, and Chase was maybe 8 years old, something like that, on skis, super quiet, wouldn't say much. And to watch him grow up and to be around him and to give him some advice from time to time has really been meaningful for me. And today I think more about him winning the championship than anything. It's pretty awesome. Thank you.
Cool.
Cole Cusimano, Popular Speed. Congrats on a tremendous career, Jimmy. I just wanted to get your opinion on this. So your final Cup championship, you came from the rear and obviously won. Chase did it in his first Cup championship. Had that dawned on you? And do you feel it's kind of like a passing of the torch for him and Hendrick Motorsports?
That thought went through my mind earlier today when I heard they were going to the back. I sent Alan and Chase a text, reminding them that I won a championship that way. And then I saw Chase just before the trucks rolled on the driver intro part of the ceremonies this morning. And I reminded him, I said, man, I've been there. And it's, of the championships I've won, coming from the back, I had less nervous energy in my body when I took the green flag, and it was very easy what I needed to do. And I shared that with him, and he smiled and said, man, I hope that's how it goes today. And it did. So we didn't think of it as a passing of the torch, but I tried to share some of my experience and, with him before the race. And I mean, he doesn't need my help. He's plenty good on his own, and I'm glad it worked out for him.
As you probably can see in the queue, we have several questions. If you could just keep your question to one, and if we have time for follow-ups, we'll go back to you. Next one we will take from Mark Garrow. Go ahead, Mark.
Thank you. Jimmy, this is sort of a follow-up on a question you just had. Given the ups and downs and lows that you've had, how important it was that you went out on a high, on a competitive high. The leaders were there. You gave yourself a chance. How important that is it to you? That's the period on this right now.
Ford, I believe he's muted. For Jimmy, you're still muted. Hold on one second. There you go. That's good. Sorry about that.
We're going to need a beer if that's the case.
Okay, we'll now take our next question from Steve Homer. Go ahead, Steve.
Yes, Jimmy. You know what a first championship meant to you. What do you think it's going to mean to Chase, and how does that reshape a driver's career? Do you think?
It really does change your confidence as a driver, as a leader of a race team, and it positions you just different in the fan space, and there's a bunch of credibility that comes with that. Not that Chase needs any fans, but I'm sure there might be naysayers out there. So a big moment like this really cements you in everybody's head as the real deal. It's one thing to win races, it's one thing to be fast, but to get it all done and win races and be fast and win a championship, is the most difficult thing to do in our sport. So for him to have a championship at this age and being so young, there's no telling what the win total will be for him or his championship total.
Thank you.
Mark Arrow, I know that your answer is muted. Do you want to repeat that question?
Okay, take two. Sorry about that. Jimmy, just your feelings about going out at such a competitive level. You talked a moment ago about the lows and all that. Is just how do you feel about going out with a performance where you kind of drove from the back and stayed up front all day?
It definitely feels good for my final race to run well. A big tent full of friends here watching. My family was clearly here, and I didn't have too much riding on today in making sure that I had a good run, just because I always plan to run well, and in my head I always feel like I should. But ultimately, this year is just a little bittersweet for me, and to have the issues we have had and not be competitive down the stretch, not make the playoffs, all that still stings. But to finish with a solid top 5 to close things out is nice.
Next up, we'll go to Taryn Wack. Go ahead, Taryn.
Hi, Jimmy. Thanks for taking my question. I was wondering if it has hit you yet that this is the end of your full-time career in NASCAR, or do you think that'll come later?
I've let in about as much as I can. I feel like, the off season will happen and I won't have team meetings and team 2021 planning meetings, and my trips to the shop won't be as frequent. I'll still go and still be around HMS just because it's home. But I think as next year comes around and I don't go to Daytona for the 500 and those firsts that come along, that's when it will we'll take deeper, it'll continue to set in deeper and deeper then. But I feel like I've had a very special week, a lot of friends in town. I've spoken to a lot on the phone, a lot through text, a lot of meaningful conversations, and I'm very thankful that I've had that from friends, family, a lot of my peers here today. So I'm feeling pretty full right now.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Davey Siegel. Go ahead, Davey.
Hey, Jimmy, COVID has affected this year in a bunch of ways at the track, obviously, and you hadn't been able to have your family with you most of the year. How special was it to have them with you today on what was obviously a really special day for you?
Yeah, that was everything. They haven't been to a race since Fontana. So to have them here and have them a part of this is something I really, really hoped could happen. And once I knew we were going to have fans at the track, I felt like the chances were high, and very thankful I was able to have them here.
Next up, we'll go to Michael Shelton. Go ahead, Michael.
Thank you very much. So, Jimmy, congratulations again on an outstanding career, but obviously you're not done racing, period. You're moving to IndyCar next year. So, when do you start your preparations to join Chip Ganassi Racing for next season? And then, how much are you looking forward to IndyCar? Is it going to be kind of like a rebirth for you in a way?
Yeah, I'm not sure what to think of it all just yet. I was able to drive the car on Monday in Alabama at the Barber Racetrack. Learned a lot and know the areas that I need to work to be more competitive in those cars. I'm also traveling tomorrow to Monterey, California. We're testing there on Tuesday. So I get another shot at testing the car and getting a feel for things. So I'm integrated into the team. Certainly more throughout the off season will take place. Their season just finished, and obviously ours did as well. But I'm plugged in over there and trying to learn what I can, and just trying to make the switch from a car with very little downforce to a car with a lot of downforce. So I have a big challenge ahead of myself.
Come back down here to Michael Knight. Michael,
Thank you. Congratulations.
Hi, Jimmy. Michael Knight. Very few people in any stage of life get to go out on their own terms. Could you give us some insight into how special that element of it makes all of this that has happened to you? And also, they showed on TV out on pit road a group hug. It was you, Mr. H, and Chase. Do you remember what you felt at that moment or anything that was said?
I don't. Chase kept saying, "Can you believe it?" And I don't know what I was saying, but I just so proud of Chase, and then to be there with Rick. That's the first time I've seen Rick in person since March. So there was a lot going on in one moment there, I think for all three of us. A very meaningful moment for me to be there with Rick and with Chase. But I can't remember what was exactly said. Of course, very happy and all the things that come along those lines. What was your first question, Michael?
The ability to go out on your own terms, which very few people are able to do.
Yeah, I mean, I have friends that have been NASCAR drivers, friends of mine that have played professional football, professional baseball. Very few have had the opportunity to call their shot and say when they're done. Some have had injury, some were forced out, some sponsorship or opportunity passed them by. And in either way, watching them, there's a big void that I've noticed. And I'm just thankful that I won't have that void. I was able to do it on my terms. I was able to have the support from Ally and Mr. Hendrick and Hendrick Motorsports to step down when I wanted to and on my terms. So I'm very thankful for that.
Thank you.
Stay down here to Alex.
Thank you. Hey, Jimmy. You mentioned kind of the intensified amount of spotlight or pressure that comes with being a champion. And I'm wondering what advice you have for Chase, given that you're kind of making your exit and he's starting this championship ascent.
Yeah, we talk a lot, and he has an amazing grasp on things. And at the end of the day, it's really the driver and the crew chief and how they want to conduct business. And Alan and Chase have a great relationship. They know what they need out of each other. And Chase, being as young as he is, has a ton of wisdom and a ton of knowledge. And clearly he's been around the sport for a lot of years and a lot of great people that he surrounds himself with. So I'm always amazed when we chat just how put together his thoughts are when we do talk. I mean, at his age, my head was scrambled and I was all over the place. And we chatted a couple times this week, and he had it all in line. I mean, and I could genuinely tell that his head was in the right place. He didn't have unneeded nerves and anxiety flowing through him. I mean, he really was calm and ready to get out here and get to work. Then, of course, starting at the back, it was a real test of the system at that point. And I saw him before we rolled out to the cars, and he was at peace. So he's just really wise beyond his years, and with that, extremely talented.
I know there are a number of questions left in the queue, but we have time for two more. We'll take Cameron down here and then go to Rob Tiongson on Zoom, and then we'll wrap it.
Cameron Richardson, the Lumberjack. Jimmy, I just want to know, was there an interaction maybe you had with a fan or just anyone maybe just a little bit outside the racing community that you aren't always around with that kind of will always stick with you and just really encapsulates everything you've done in your career?
Rolled around the track and waved goodbye, and came down pit lane and gave a high five to every single crew member that down pit lane. They all came off the wall and were standing out there, and there was a long line of crew members, and that respect from my peers and respect from the industry is something I'll never ever forget.
Rob, race home.
Thanks, Matt. Jimmy, congratulations on a fantastic career. I know you've been doing a lot of contemplating, so my question for you is, if you could talk to your younger self back in the year 2000, when you knew you were going to get the chance to drive in Cup, would your younger self believe you've had this incredible journey as a 7-time champion?
No, there's no way. And I would have told myself to relax. Everything's going to be just fine. I don't know if I would ask myself to really change much, because I am who I am, and all of the overthinking and worrying and the sleepless nights and waking up early to try to find an advantage, all that paid off. So I don't know if I would change anything, but maybe I'd tell myself just to chill out and enjoy the ride, because everything was going to turn out just fine.
Thanks, Jimmy. See you down the road.
Thanks.
And that'll do it for questions for Jimmy. Jimmy, any parting words for us as we say goodbye to legend?
Well, thank you. I just absolutely want to thank the media. Known many of you for a lot of years, and just thank you for covering the sport. Thank you for being a part of this industry. Most of all, thank you for being a friend and being on this journey together. You work very hard. You are first in, last out. Away from your families, away from your friends, more than I even am. And I know how hard it is on my end. So a sincere thank you to all of you. And I look forward to seeing you guys less often. Not because I don't want to see you, but because I'm slowing down and I'll only be in the media center at a few IndyCar races, I guess. But thank you all very much. See you in March.
Thank you, Jimmy. Congratulations.
Everybody,
And
really appreciate it.
amazing career.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thanks a ton, Jimmy. Appreciate it. Congratulations on everything, bud. Thank you. Thanks for everything, Amy. So an update for the media. I know we had promised Cole Custer. Cole needed to hop on a plane. We ran a little long with our Championship 4 drivers and Jimmy. So we're looking to have Cole join a Zoom this week. If you do need him, happy to make him available, and he's happy to make that time. So next one to come in will be members of our championship team. So that'll be the champion driver, owner, crew chief, and manufacturer. So please hang out with us, and we'll get to you as soon as we can. It'll be a little bit.
Hey, Marissa.
Yeah.
Will there be pizza for us here in the media on the Zoom call here?
Yeah, I'm sending it to you all right now.
Thank you.
I actually want to report from Samantha on the cert conditions.
If I may say so, guys, thank you so much for making this so possible for all of us media folks who couldn't go to the racetrack for whatever reasons. I know all of us don't get to say thank you so much, but I can speak for all of us in this room. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Matt, Marissa, everyone in NASCAR. This is the greatest sport in the world, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
Most of what he said, I agree with.
Well, if we're going to do that, guys, I just want to say the same thing, Marissa and everybody. You guys have done a great job for us this year, and it's been a strange year, but we could not have done our jobs without all the stuff that you guys did behind the scenes. So I certainly appreciate it too. Thank you.
I'll second that. This is my first year covering the sport. To all you guys in the communications department, thank you so much for everything this year. And it's been a pleasure meeting a lot of new people that also cover the sport too.
Likewise. Thank you, guys.
Just want to add one more. Thank you, all of you. It was great meeting you. Thank you for having me on the beat. It was my first year as well. Glad we were able to make something positive out of a tough situation.
We're all on a thread on this. I guess I'll just say thank you for allowing me to be a part of these Zoom meetings. I know my outlet is more college sports oriented, but it's nice to get our foot in the door with covering NASCAR.
When we're all back together, guys, I really look forward to seeing your faces again, and let's chat more often.
I don't know how you did it, but I got my pizza.
What?
I got a pizza. Somehow it zoomed come through the computer right here. Look, I'm telling you, I got my pizza.
Zoom delivery.
I don't know.
Ironically, by the way, I actually had pizza for dinner while watching.
Marissa is magic, man. I don't know what the heck she did, but man, and pepperoni on top of it. I mean, it's good stuff.
gosh.
Thank you.
I'll take some hot wings right now.
Actually, they came. I got celery and some ranch dressing that came with it too. I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, the whole
cheese.
Marissa, I'm telling you, you realize you've come up with $1 billion idea, right? You can Zoom pizza. I mean, honestly, you've just become a billionaire, and I want to invest in you, right, as we speak right now. Let me be your Mr. 10% for the Zoom pizza, all right?
She could start a franchise.
That's what I'm talking about. I want in. I want in. I'll take the state of North Carolina. What do you guys want? She'll probably have to give NASCAR a cut. She stumbled into this by accident. Now she's going to have to. We got to figure, that NASCAR gets their cut. We got to be fair about this.
Marissa, is that an Eagles banner in the back?
It is.
That breaks my heart as a Patriots fan, but I'll let it pass.
Yep.
Go Bills.
Go Chiefs.
Bills are the way to go here.
I covered the Jets, so this whole process has been most refreshing. So thank you.
It felt good watching the Bills win over Seattle today. So
See, gang, we didn't miss the final race of the season where we normally would be hanging out in the media center right now, just kind of cutting up and talking about the season and our favorite football teams and stuff. So thanks to NASCAR and their Zoom prowess, we've been able to at least do that part.
I raise a glass of water to this.
We have a bottle of wine chilling.
Once I get done,
I don't have my camera on, but I've got my World Championship T-shirt on for everybody for my Chiefs. If you,
Yes.
Oh. Marissa, something, and Sam both actually, and anybody else that's on here that's with NASCAR, just a thought that obviously this may continue into next year, and it wouldn't be a bad idea for maybe all of us to get together and do a discussion on what worked well and what maybe didn't work well, and maybe what we could see in the future and that could help us out at home. I mean, I want to be at Daytona in February. And I had my cancer surgery in July, so that stopped me from going to tracks, and I should be okay to go in February. But if there's still restrictions and we still have the bubbles and stuff, there's a chance I may have to miss it, just like I've missed this last race of the season. So, it's been phenomenal what you guys have been able to put together and do. But maybe that might be a discussion now that we have the off season, where you can invite the core of us to come together on a Zoom call and just hash it out and say, yeah, that worked great, or the media center thing didn't work great, or whatever, just whatever, just an idea.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I know. Post Phoenix, and once we all get ourselves back on track, we'll have a lot of discussions moving forward. As we don't know what it'll look like either, but
sure.
Definitely open to any type of help or anything that you guys have to say. Mike Ford always says, feel free to email him if you have anything too. And yeah, definitely hoping to kind of take off this next season with a better plan. Or I wouldn't say better, but
no, I think you got a great
established plan.
I'll throw out a suggested Zoom beer delivery.
Yeah. Well, my thought
with me.
My thought, Marissa, was, yeah, we could email Mike and all that, but rather than fill up his email with, his inbox with a bunch of different emails, we could just have a chat for a couple hours during the week sometime, and we could just have a whiteboard there and throw stuff against the wall and hash it out. That might be, I don't know. I mean, it might be easier than just trying to throw a bunch of emails at everybody. But it's just an idea.
The first thing, by the way, that Greg said, I definitely agree. If it's not for this pandemic and Zoom calls aren't really a thing, we're not even covering any races this year. So this is actually really cool. And I'm usually only covering Watkins Glen and stuff like that.
Yeah, same for me, obviously. And I've mentioned this to, other people and team PRs, and I mentioned this to several others. I think we could, I think how it worked this weekend and this year, I think it's definitely grown my platform as well. Not just with me and but other teams are more willing to do from the team side, dealing with them. It's definitely been good for me, and it's definitely made the drivers a lot more accessible than in the past, because before all this, you could only, because you had sponsorship appearances and all that, and you had so much stuff going on in the week. Now I would kind of say they're more available. I know they're all busy, but that's what I've noticed from a lot of the teams that I've worked with.
Yeah, I think even when the pandemic ends and we get a miracle and we all get vaccinated or whatever, and when we can even travel to the tracks, I think keeping some of this stuff in place is going to help those who can't travel, and it it can help increase your coverage.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah, I was
100%.
And I try to get to 7 or 8 races a year, and I've been to two, actually three this year. And but if I could be able to do the same kind of coverage that I've been able to do this year and years past, it would be fantastic. And I get it. Sometimes, you know, when you're at the track, you can go to a holler and you can talk to people in person and things like that, and do your own thing. But having these resources when you're not at the track, I think is just going to only increase your coverage and give you more coverage than you ever did before. So.
Yeah, just from all of us, you know, I mean, no one's worked as hard as you guys have, just trying to make sure everything is, I mean, you know, is all like this. It's like, it's like crazy. So thank you guys. It's been awesome.
And you can't disguise the fact that, like a lot of industries, you guys took some hits, so you lost some people, and you had to do more with less, you know. And you guys were fantastic, because I know that reorganization hit you before the pandemic, and all of a sudden you're left with fewer people, and you guys performed outstanding. Jim Hunter would have been proud.
I sanction that, Greg. Jim Hunter would be smiling.
Yes. And I think you agree, Deb, that the media team at NASCAR, although they mean well, I think they sort of lost focus, but this year they've all stepped up to the plate and done such a fantastic job. They have a lot to be proud of.
Oh, I agree. I agree. And I agree with the person a while ago that was talking
They just switched it. Okay. Texted them in the truck. Yeah. Okay, text me if you need.
Could do it Victory Lane this year, but don't want to get it done. So it stays with us, but like in the past, like last year, Denny's when coach called me like the next day and was like, "Can we get another one made?" But then still has their painter does another one first, you know. So we can normally sign with paint in Victory Lane, but obviously can't do that this month. But just get them signed with some Sharpies. And they go here. Either before or after, I love when people sign.
Marissa, I'm done with my pizza. Do you have ice cream or anything for dessert you can shoot over here?
Unfortunately, no.
You ready for me now? Cool. Good, that's cool. Did that guy paint that while we were racing? That's amazing, isn't it? It is. That's amazing. Oh, did you? Cool. Do you know where he is? I didn't get his card or something. Okay, cool. Okay, we are now joined by our race-winning crew chief, Alan Gustafson. Alan, congratulations. Quite a run out there today. Just walk us through that championship-winning race.
Yeah, what an intense race. Super competitive, congrats to all the championship 4 guys. I think that besides us starting in the back, those guys were in the top 4 or 5 all day long. So it was just everybody had really fast cars and really competitive. And we're really fortunate to come out on top. And I was a little worried there when the 22 got in front of us on that pit exchange, but our car was good enough at the end to get past them. So it was a really special day.
Okay, we'll open up to questions for Alan. If you have one in Zoom, raise your hand. If you're in the room, you can raise your real hand. And we'll kick it off with Bob down here.
Yeah, Alan, obviously you guys had a lot of speed today, and you guys have this new coming relationship with ECR. I heard maybe that you guys have implemented some things that ECR was using. So was it your engine or ECR's engine? How much of an impact did that have?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know all the details, but it's certainly a collaborative effort between ECR and HMS and the Chevy teams have. It's been a great evolution in our relationship, and everybody's working really well together. And I think the performance obviously showed on the track today, and I think it's going to continue to yield good results. So you got to thank certainly Hendrick Engines and ECR Engines and Chevrolet and all they've done to give us a great engine and great package with great durability today, and it was a huge benefit.
And also, can you just kind of go through pre-race tech what happened? Thanks.
Yeah, certainly. It's unfortunate, and I apologize for to our sponsors and Napa and everybody involved. We don't want to go through that. We had our left rear quarter top was low, and there's a few spots on it, and we had to fix a couple other things, and we went around and ultimately worked on the left rear quarter top and tried to get it up. The rear package tray and the quarter top kind of meet there together, and it's hard to get into that quarter top from the trunk or from the inside. And we did what I thought was enough, and we worked on it, and unfortunately it wasn't. It's tough for us in those situations. There's just no way to know how much we've moved the body panel, and you try to go a little more than you think you need to, and we thought we did, and unfortunately we didn't. So I hate that happened. I hate that we put everybody in a bad spot there. So fortunately we got it right for the third time.
Next we'll go to Jim Utter. Go ahead, Jim.
Congrats, Alan. Follow up on that question. I just wondered how did that leave you guys going into today? Did you think it was really much of going to be a bad headache to start that way, or how did you think it was going to play out?
I didn't. I wasn't. You don't want to start in the back, and you certainly don't want to give up first spot. But I didn't feel like it was going to be a huge disadvantage. And then, as the race went on, I started to realize how hard it was going to be to pass. And I was like, man, that could have been a huge deciding factor. It's just the top. All the guys in the championship were so fast and so good, and it was tough to pass, especially the leader. So it was certainly concerning. I started once we kind of got up into the top 5. I realized, man, we got to figure out a way to get around these guys. It's going to be hard to do. It's going to be hard to pass those championship guys, and certainly the leader.
And I know you already you have a really talented driver, but could you describe a little bit what you have seen out of Chase, particularly over the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm his biggest fan. There's his ability, his intelligence, his the quality person he is. He's just he's top notch all the way around. And I think that just going through those situations and succeeding, gives you some confidence to not be indecisive and not second guess yourself and not let doubt creep in when you get into a situation that's not ideal. And when you go through races that are must wins and championship moments like this, no matter if you do everything perfect, you're still going to have some adversity to overcome. And I think him being able to win in those moments has given him some confidence to know that he's certainly good enough to do it. I mean, we all know that, and you can hear it, but until you do it, you just don't know that. And I think that now it's giving him that reassurance.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll go to Michael Knight. You can holler from there, Michael.
Yeah, I was not. I don't know how he found out. I'm sure that by the time I talked to him, it was pretty well publicized. So I wasn't the person to tell him. But we did talk about it, obviously, and he's super supportive of us and what we're trying to do, and has a lot of faith and confidence in us as we do him. So it's just a situation we were in, and we had to make the most of it and the best of it. Yeah, and I you never know. I did feel like coming in here, based on how we've run over the last 3 or 4 years. I know the finishes aren't there, and the stats may not be the best, but we've run really good, and we've had some real tough situations and circumstances with its knocking a valve stem off in this race last year, or speeding on pit road, or we got an accident off of turn 2 a few years ago. But we've just been at the front. We've had a lot of speed, a lot of pace. So I had a lot of confidence. And to be honest with you, that winning with 4 different drivers here is cool. I'm super proud of that. And I hadn't won on the new configuration. So the old configuration, we had a lot of success and hadn't been able to master this new one. And I think it's finally wore out enough and tires fall off enough that the stuff that we try to do is kind of back in style. Thank you.
Excuse me. Next, we'll go to Dustin Long.
Thank you. Alan, throughout your career, you've had the experience of working with some younger drivers and also veteran drivers. And I'm curious, as there are a number of younger drivers moving up, and certainly your organization's full of them now, can you give me a sense of perspective of working with a younger driver? What are the things that you had to do as a crew chief? What are the things that the driver has to rely on other people, and how that works when they're relying on other people, trying to get as much information as possible? I'm sure there's some challenges and just how you work with a younger driver and how you work with Chase those early years to build to this moment.
Yeah, it's a bit different, but it's very similar. I think I learned something when I worked with Mark Martin, and we sat down, and obviously he had a huge amount of success, and we had a long conversation about what we need to do and how we need to proceed. And I can remember through that conversation, he told me to treat him like a rookie. He said, don't treat me like a veteran. Don't treat me like I know what I'm doing. Just treat me like a rookie and give me as much information as possible, and use as much information you can to influence me and help me and move forward. And really, to be honest with you, since that point in time with him, I've taken that philosophy. I think he taught me a pretty valuable lesson. So regardless if it's Mark Martin, Jeff Gordon, Chase Elliott, the team, myself, we just try to put the drivers in the best position we can so they succeed, and feed them as much information as we can, and try to educate them as much as possible, and try to put them in a position, put their best foot forward. And certainly you got to give them their individual, leeway or attributes or different things they have. And certain guys are good at certain things, but I think you just try to support them as much as you can. And I think we've taken that philosophy with Mark and with Jeff and with Chase. And to be honest with you, Chase is, he's not a normal 24-year-old person. That's for sure. He's got the, physical attributes and skill sets of a 24-year-old, but he's got the intelligence and experience of someone much older and wiser. So, he acts like he's a 35-year-old in his prime. So, he's very similar to the great champions I've worked with before, and he's going to be, every bit as good or better.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Lee Spencer. Go ahead, Lee.
Thank you, and congratulations, Alan. Sorry we couldn't be there to enjoy this with you. Just kind of curious, since you've been with him through his development in the Cup Series, where have you seen his biggest gains, and what has surprised you the most about him in this short period of time?
That's a tough question because I can remember we tested with him in Nashville way back in the day. I mean, it was years before he even drove our car, but Jeff had to go somewhere and he came in and filled in. And then, even then, he was just getting ready to run Xfinity or was running Xfinity. I knew it was like, man, this kid is fast. Like, he's really good. And from one time he showed up, he was ready to win, and the thing that I look back at in the first couple of years, there's so many races I feel like we should have won and were in position to win. And it's almost like we were keeping ourselves from winning or, obsessing over it too much and not just being natural and doing what we know we can do and execute and just have confidence and trust in ourselves. And that's what I see that's changed is I think that he now trusts in his ability and he is very decisive and he doesn't, second guess himself and he doesn't race, not to lose, but he races to win. And I think that the whole team's come along that journey with him. And that's what I see the difference. He's obviously improved, but he's not improved. I mean, he's not that much different of a driver really than he was when he was a rookie. He's certainly gotten better in laps help and knows the lines and knows, what he needs out of his car and the intangibles and on and off pit road and in and out of the pit box and all those different things. But I think just the confidence in being extremely decisive in going out to win instead of going out not to lose is the difference.
At one point during the course of the race, you asked him what he needed, how his car was reacting, and he said, "What do I know? I'll let you make the decision." At what point do you see his maturation level where he's comfortable enough to give you the type of feedback that's necessary to just really get the cars dialed in?
Yeah, I think that it's there. And I think, when you listen to that, when you're at home, you're like, he's not giving feedback or he's not telling us what we need. And actually that's a very mature thing to say because I think the point that he's trying to make is he doesn't feel like what he needs to make him feel comfortable or the car easier to drive is ultimately going to be the fastest thing to do. And that's what he's referring to. And in this situation, he was right. If we would have done what ultimately would have made him the most comfortable, we would have not been as fast. And so he was basically defaulting to me to say, hey, just make it fast and I'll do the rest. But it kind of gets lost in translation, but that's ultimately what he was saying.
Appreciate your time. Safe travels.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate everything.
Next one is Zach Sterniolo. Go ahead, Zach.
Alec, congratulations on this. Obviously, this was a race at a 750 horsepower racetrack, and 4 of the 5 wins that you had this year were on those kinds of tracks, obviously these last 2 weeks particularly. Was there any extra emphasis on this package this year? Obviously the road courses are that package, and we've seen what this team is capable of there, but did you guys put any extra stock into this package?
No, I can't say that we did. And to be honest with you, I didn't really realize that statistic until you said it. So I did think our 550 stuff and the intermediate stuff was pretty good. And certainly we probably should have won a few more of those races, and we didn't. There he is. But I think that, I don't feel like there's any extra effort put there. I mean, I think we enjoy racing those style of tracks and the 750 package and, being on the gas and braking and, the short tracks in general. I consider this a short track. I know it's not probably technically called a short track, but that's what I consider it. So, places that you've got to brake and the car's got to drive good and the tires fall off, those are, that's just what we most enjoy. But I certainly think that our 750 stuff was pretty good. There were some tracks that we weren't very good, but one of them's gone, so I'm happy about that. And one of them lost race, so that's probably a little bit better for us too. So, no extra effort. That was a long-winded way of saying no. We just, we try to win every week. I know that sounds corny, but it's the truth.
This year was obviously unique. What kind of leadership did you feel was asked of yourself this year particularly, and how do you feel like you navigated it, and what role did that play in getting to where you are right now?
The cool, silver lining in this year, and one thing that I've thoroughly enjoyed is it's been really pared down, and I have to work on the cars, and Tom Gray, my lead engineer, works on the car, and Matt Barnes, my car chief. It's his first year as a car chief, and we all had to work together, and the whole team, everybody that goes to the track, from the truck drivers to all the team members, everybody's got to pitch in, and everybody's got to do a lot. And it just reminds me of the way, racing was when I was growing up as a kid. It just was, a small group of people, probably working more hours than they should, and putting a lot of effort towards to try to have a common goal and win races. And the pit crew, everybody, it's just a different it was very pared down, and all the specialty jobs evaporated when the pandemic hit and we went to this schedule. So I have a simple philosophy I always have, is you just lead by example. Talk's cheap. You got to go do it. You have to, set that standard and go do what you want your guys to do, and don't tell me, show me. So that's all I've ever tried to do, and this wasn't any different. But it was really intimate with the guys, and I really enjoyed that. I think the whole team did. It brought us together closer, and I think ultimately made us stronger. And it's something I think we've learned from, and will serve us well in the future. Just being able to lean on each other.
Thank you, and congrats again.
Thank you.
Okay, as you guys probably see, we got Jim Campbell waiting in the room. We'll take one more for Alan, and that'll go to Mark Garrow, and then we'll go to Jim.
All right, thank you. Congratulations, Alan. Sort of following up on what you were just talking about here, you've done the equivalent of hitting two back-to-back walk-off homers to win the championship, to get into the Final Four, then win the championship. Did you feel that this team had it in it the whole time, and how do you feel about your team coming through in this way, back-to-back with so much on the line?
Yeah, I absolutely felt like we could do it. I feel like we have performed really, really well, and I just knew we had to operate it at our maximum capacity and do the best job we could. And did I know we could win two races back to back and win Martinsville and Phoenix? I mean, you certainly believe you can, and you feel like you can, and you can't say that you will or can or did until you do it, I guess. But I didn't have any. I never lacked confidence in this group or what we had, and there was a time in the summer that we weren't very good, and I just knew those were tracks that they're just tracks that we historically weren't very good at. But the good news was that they weren't in the playoffs, so we just kind of had to battle through those times and not lose our heads and not get hit the panic button, and just stay true to ourselves and keep pushing forward. So I was pretty confident that we could do it. I think that. The statistics show it. I mean, you got to kind of look a little deeper than wins, but I think if you look past that, our stats are really right on top of anybody else's, who's even those guys that won, 9, 7 races. And ultimately, I think we should have been a little closer to that. And certainly Charlotte's on me. We should have won that race. So There's a few other that we probably should have won too. So ifs and buts, but we got the one that mattered.
Okay, Alan, thanks for all the time. Congratulations on an outstanding year and championship. And have a great rest of the night and enjoy the offseason.
Appreciate it, buddy.
All right, and to all of our media, we are now joined by Jim Campbell, U.S. Vice President of Performance and Motorsports for Chevrolet. Jim, congratulations. Thank you for taking some time with us. We'll get right into questions here for Jim. As a reminder, if you have a question, click the participants tab and raise your hand. But Jim, to lead us off, I know we talked, I think just 2 days ago about, just Chevrolet being back in this and to win a championship. How are you feeling right now?
It was a special day today. We are really excited. As I said in the OEM Zoom call, 3-2-1, we had 3 drivers in the truck series that had a chance for the championship, 2 in Xfinity and 1 in the Cup. And when it's all said and done, Sheldon Creed delivered a truck championship as a driver. Chevy won the manufacturers championship there in Xfinity. While we didn't win the drivers, we did win the manufacturers championship. And then Chase Elliott, Alan Gustafson, the entire Hendrick organization delivered big time for a second championship on the driver's side this weekend. The 32nd time a Chevy driver has won the Cup championship. Chase and Alan, their team, the Hendrick organization, did an incredible job. I mean, drove through the field and then executed, in every stage of the entire race. The 22 was strong. The 2 was strong. The 11 was coming on at different points, and Chase and Alan just did an incredible job of executing the entire race. It was a clutch performance. It's 2 in a row with Martinsville and now Phoenix. It was fantastic. It was great to see the fans in the stands. And I'll tell you, when Chase got to the lead, it was fun to see the reaction from the stands. There were a lot of Chase Elliott fans out there today.
Awesome. We're going to take some questions from the media. Jim Utter, you can kick us off.
Congratulations, Jim. This has probably been, obviously, it's been discussed, a trying season for a lot of people with COVID, especially the manufacturers. But I don't know what you thought the prospects were as the playoffs drew to a close. But having been locked out of the championship 4 since 2016, can you kind of describe your guys' perspective and emotions of the last 2 weeks, locking in with one of your up-and-coming drivers like Chase, and then him duplicating the feat this weekend and giving you the championship?
Yeah, it was absolutely incredible, this playoff format. It creates excitement. It creates an immense amount of pressure all the way around. The teams feel it. We feel it as manufacturers to deliver in those stages. The last couple of years, we didn't make it. The last few years, we did not make it to the final round. Very disappointing, and so we just, the whole phrase, never give up, you can never give up. So the teams have been working hard, more work going on than probably people see. And it all came together. And, Chase and Alan delivered a big win in Martinsville, and then they executed today to put it all together. And that's what it takes. If you think about the beginning of the season, whether we really have a season, and to see that all the races, got scheduled, got run by the series, and to see Chase take it all the way to a championship is incredible. One thing I just had a couple other items here. One, I remember when I was working at Chevrolet in a different role, and I got a call from Rick Hendrick. This is 10 years ago. It was on a Saturday. I was preparing for some meetings with our dealers, and Rick said, "I just signed Chase Elliott." And of course, I knew his father. I knew of him and heard about him. At that time, he was 14 years old. And think about how far Chase has come. All the races he's won, an Xfinity Series championship, and now he's a Cup champion. It's just an incredible run. And I'll never forget that day that Rick called and said he signed young Chase Elliott. And I'm so glad he did.
Thank you very much.
All right, we'll take our next question from Bob Pockers. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, Jim, I believe it's the first time in 32 years that the most popular drivers won the title. Does that mean anything when you look at just the importance to the sport?
Absolutely. Bob, what I mentioned earlier, when Chase got to the lead today here in Phoenix, I was sitting, on the outside of the track because of all the protocol. You can't go into inside the competition bubble. And to see the reaction of so many fans in the stands when Chase got to the lead was incredible. And it's indicative of his popularity, not only the fans who were here in Phoenix, but all over the country, all over the world. And so I think it's a huge lift for the sport. It's awesome for Chevrolet, and he is such a talented driver. Bob, I think it's absolutely fantastic all the way around. I saw it with my own eyes today, as I have in many races when he takes the lead. Popular driver won it all. It was awesome.
All right, we'll take our next one from Jenna Fryer. Hi, Jenna.
Hey, Jim, congratulations. Do you see any sort of transition or changing of the guard in Chase winning his first championship and Jimmy's final race?
Yeah, Jenna, that's a good question. And, today was a special day for a lot of reasons. And for those of us who've known Jimmy a long time, and, it was incredible to think this is his last Cup race as a full-time driver in the series. And for Chevrolet, as you may know, Jimmy, anytime he raced on four wheels, he raced with Chevrolet, starting in off-road truck series and working all the way through various series, all the way up to Cup. And so it was a pretty emotional day to think this was Jimmy's last day, and we were all celebrating his final race. And but also to know the prospect of Chase potentially having a chance to win today, and then he delivered, was incredible. And I was actually walking from the outside of the track to the inside of the track after Chase won, and I understand that I haven't seen it, but I understand that Jimmy got up close to Chase there and gave him a tap, car to car, and it's pretty symbolic. The passing the torch happened. Jimmy Johnson, 7-time champion, 83 wins, 20 years plus, and racing with Chevy for many, many more. It's incredible. Today was a passing of the torch, without a doubt.
Thanks, Jim. Congratulations.
Thanks.
All right, we'll head to Dustin Long. Go ahead, Dustin.
Thank you. Jim, with the 2-year championships this weekend, both drivers under 24, certainly we saw youth play a key role this weekend. I'm curious, does this make you look at, are there things that you would look at doing more of in reaching younger drivers, developing younger drivers? Certainly I know there's some already in the with Chevy team pipeline. Does a weekend like this start to lead to a change, or is a weekend like this a result of some changes that you've made already? Yeah, well, it's a good question. And Dustin, just to, first of all, Sheldon Creed is part of our Driver's Edge program, which is our driver development program. Sam Mayer is also part of that program, very successful in the ARCA series and super talented. And he's got, he's another driver up and coming. We have a number of drivers that have had a lot of success that are in our development program called Driver's Edge. And we kind of scale our driver development program to, kind of the number of seats that are available down the road. And so I'm very excited about what I saw with the drivers that are in that program, and there'll be some other ones coming along as well. In addition, Justin, if you think about it, the transition from, kind of veteran championship drivers has been happening at Chevy for a number of years. And I've talked about it before in some of the, the start of the year press conferences and the OEM press conferences. But you think about Tony Stewart, ran his whole career with our company, retired. And then, Jeff Gordon retired, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. And now Jimmy Johnson's going to, leave NASCAR and go on to other things. And along the way, we have picked up so many amazing young drivers. And every year they get more experience, more mature, more reps at these tracks, and really coming together as not only as drivers, but then as teams. So I'm really optimistic. I'm very optimistic about what's going on in the Chevy camp for those reasons. We couldn't have been prouder to have had those veteran drivers. By the way, Kevin Harvick's another one who has obviously, got his championship in 2014 with Chevy at Homestead. Obviously he went on and went over to the Ford camp when they made the switch. But there's another example of drivers that have kind of moved on from Chevy. And so what's coming in, young, talented drivers, and I couldn't be more excited. Thank you, Jim.
All right, we'll take our next one from Mark Garrow, PRN.
Thank you. Congratulations, Jim. And you've sort of answered this, and I was just wondering, it hasn't been the best season on the Cup side statistically for Chevrolet, but do the last 2 weeks and the way it ended kind of take some of that sting away? And also provide a springboard to a more successful 2021 season?
Yeah, Mark. You make a good point there. We had 9 wins this year, but we got momentum at the right time, and I don't think it's by mistake. Actually, I do believe that the work we did with our key partner teams, which obviously would be Hendrick Motorsports, Richard Childress Racing, and Chip Ganassi Racing, we gathered together and put a lot of work into this Camaro Z11 LE that happened, in the past, past years, and we brought that to the track here at the beginning of the year. And so we're dialing that car in, and I think we're getting, more momentum with that. In addition, Rick Hendrick and Richard Childress, I'm so proud of them, created this Engine Alliance, and that's, a very, very positive thing. And then, along the way, between all of these efforts, our teams are working better together when we're working on projects to prepare to go to the racetrack. And that's just it's a must. We do it in all the series. We've done it with some degrees of success here in NASCAR, but I really do believe that we have tremendous momentum on that front, and we're only going to get stronger in that area. So, 9 wins when you look at our historic performance doesn't really measure up, but we got the wins at the right time, all the way through the stages of the playoff, and Chase Elliott delivered an amazing championship win today.
Thank you, Jim. Again, congratulations.
Thanks, Mark.
Take our next one from Sterling Price. Go ahead, Sterling.
Thank you. Jim, concerning Jimmy Johnson, this was his last race after, if I'm counting this correctly, his 19th full-time season in competition, a 7-time Cup Series champion. How much has his ambassadorship in the sport and his competitiveness meant for Chevrolet as a whole?
Yeah, I touched on early. You certainly have highlighted, the accomplishments he's had in the NASCAR, particularly in the Cup Series. But as I mentioned earlier, Jimmy Johnson, as a young guy, joined the Chevrolet team and raced in, almost every form of off-road truck racing. And then he graduated into ASA and then went into the time called the Busch Series, obviously Xfinity Series now. He's run with us in the IMSA Series in the 24 Hours of Daytona. And then obviously his accomplishments in NASCAR have been absolutely incredible. And Jimmy's an incredible representative on the track and off the track. And he's just a first-class guy. And so he represents our brand so very well. And he's helped us do product introductions. We featured Jimmy as one example. We featured Jimmy in a commercial that described the first time he brought his daughter home in his Chevrolet Tahoe. And it was a real moment, and he recounted it. And he's just represented our brand so well. He's done so many meetings with our employees, he's gone to our plants, done dealer meetings. And he's just an incredible guy, first class all the way. And also he does so many great things off the track for others. So we're going to miss him here, but I'm optimistic that Jimmy Johnson's going to, obviously going to IndyCar, but I expect he's going to be, dabbling in another race series as well. I hope to see him again.
Thank you, Jim.
All right, we'll take our next one from Ashley McCubbin. Go ahead, Ashley.
And speaking about Jimmy Johnson, what's one story that maybe you can share about the time you guys all spent together with Chevrolet that stands out in your mind looking back?
I would say, we've had Jimmy where he's, he has come to, a lot of our big dealer meetings and all that. But I would say 2016 when he won that championship, that was a challenging, difficult race. He got an opportunity, he seized on it, and he put the 7th championship on the board. And I just remember that moment and the celebration that took place after. And that was a very special moment. And remember the team just celebrating in a big way. I remember him jumping into his crew's arms, and 7 championships. It's just an incredible accomplishment. So that one was probably one of my favorites. But there's a lot of things that he's done with us, away from the racetrack that have been very special as well with our employees and our dealers.
And then looking towards the future, you've been with Chase Elliott since the beginning of his NASCAR career with Hendrick Motorsports. What has it been like riding that roller coaster with him?
Well, it's been more like a rocket ship, and super talented. And I remember, he made his mark in the Xfinity Series and won that championship. It was a big moment. He had a great season and brought that championship home. And then to watch, so many times where he was top two, came in second or third, and then he finally got his first win. And then to see his popularity grow and grow and grow, that we were talking about that earlier. And then for him to have 5 wins this year, the wins at the right time, and then bring him a championship, he is so happy. And to see the embrace he's had with his crew, with Alan, they've got just incredible chemistry. I watched him in the championship area. He got a chance to see his parents for the first time since he got out of the car, and he was a champion, just like his father. That was such a special moment. He is an exceptional young man. He's a young guy, and he is talented behind the wheel. And he's also been a great representative for us, not only on the track but off the track. And think about all the years ahead. That puts a smile on my face.
Perfect. Thank you. Congratulations once again on the success.
Thank you.
All right. We'll take one more here for Jim from Rob with NASCAR pole position. Go ahead, Rob.
Jim, congratulations on the championship with Chase Elliott and Hendrick Motorsports. As a longtime observer of the sport, I often found that fans felt like if they saw the car on the track on Sunday, they would buy it on Monday. Obviously the culture has kind of changed a little bit over the years, but with the next gen car coming out, I know it's a little bit too early to tell, but how much do you think some of that old feeling will come back when we get to the next gen car?
Yeah, it's a good question. And I would just say, when you win big races and championships like today, it does lift our brand opinion. The way people think about our brand, it lifts it for sure. And we know good things happen. People put you on their shopping list more quickly. And the question is does it happen on Monday after the race, or does it happen on a Monday in 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 months, or even a year? And the answer is we do see a correlation between success on the track and the ability for us to translate that to lifting the brand and then also driving our business. And as it relates to the next gen, I mean, obviously we got a lot of time to talk about that. Today's really about the championship, but I'm very excited about the next gen car and what NASCAR has done to update the technology, the automotive technology, chassis components underneath the car to be more connected to what we actually design into and sell in cars and trucks today. That I'm excited about. And also the proportions of the car take us even another step closer to what we offer in the showroom. And that's a winning combination. So a lot of time to talk about the next gen. We're super proud to have been here today. This Phoenix track has been incredible. The facility is incredible, and it was a great race today from my perspective with Chase winning it. And by the way, Rob, thanks for turning your camera on. I see Mark too. It was great to see you guys when you're asking your questions with your camera on. Thank you.
You got it. Congratulations.
Thanks.
All right, Jim. Well, thank you so much for taking some time with us. Congratulations, and good luck in the future, and have a great off season.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great off season.
Thank you.
Congrats, Jim.
Alrighty. Hello there, Mr. Hendrick.
Hey there.
Are you able to hear me okay?
Yes.
Awesome. Let me make sure I got you spotlighted here for everyone. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking some time with us. We are now joined by our championship winning team owner, Rick Hendrick. Rick, we'll get right into questions for you from our media. And let's kick things off with Bob Pockris. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, Rick, I wanted to ask, obviously Jimmy's last race is also Chase's first championship. Do you feel that's symbolic, and do you think Chase can match him?
Well, he's a young guy. I think he's going to win a lot of them, but, seven's a big number, but that's something to shoot at. Chase has shown so much maturity and everything, just winning these races and now the championship at 24 years old. So I think it's a lot left. I think he's got a lot left in his tank.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take our next one from Dustin Albino. Go ahead, Dustin.
Yeah, Rick, kind of right off that, did you feel like this was kind of the turning of the guard from Jimmy, obviously ending his career and Chase getting his first title?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool the way they met each other on the track, and at the end of the race, Jimmy's last first championship, and to see those two guys embrace, that was really cool. I think it means a lot to our whole organization. Jimmy is really special to us, like a part of our family, and Chase is the new kid coming along. He's not a kid, but he's a champion now. But it was a special moment to see those two guys embrace. So, and I think they tore the cars up running into each other out there a little bit, but it was a special time and a special place.
Thank you, Mr. H.
All right, we'll take our next one from Jerry Jordan. Go ahead, Jerry.
Rick, Jerry Jordan, kickingthetires.net. We had kind of heard, I was hoping you could confirm this, that you hadn't seen Jimmy in a long time, like several months through all of this season. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, well, I haven't gone to the races. Just we talk on the phone, but not in person. And, I've kind of tried to stay away from a lot of folks and with all this COVID-19 crisis going around. And, but we talk on the phone. So, it's, I think, but this was the first time that I had actually seen him in the flesh. So it was really special, and I'm going to be with him again tonight. And Linda and I are looking forward to spending time, me and Shanny and his friends. And this year's been really difficult. We didn't know if we were going to run races or not. Owners couldn't go. You couldn't go in the garage. If you go, you have to sit in a suite. And I applaud NASCAR for what they did, because they hadn't, we wouldn't have had a season. And we've run all the races, and it's been amazing to think that we got it all in and crowned the champion. So, I think right now I'm just a little bit not in shock, but I'm in thinking about the highs and lows of the day. For Jimmy's last race, thinking we won't see him at Daytona next year. And then Chase's first championship. And it happens to all of us, I guess. And the good thing about Jimmy and I, we're buddies, and we're going to do things. And I'm going to probably go watch him run an open wheel race. And but he's excited about a lot of different racing. So we're going to be both of our guys, Chase and Jimmy, will be in the 24-hour race. So I'm looking forward to that. So, it's, I think probably middle of next week, Jimmy and I actually said we're going to get together next week. But I'll reflect back on the day and what it really meant. And it was the last time to see him in in the 48 car, and to see Chase win his first championship.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we'll take our next one from Dustin Long. Go ahead, Dustin.
Thank you, Rick. Obviously, much has been made about how you signed Chase Elliott a decade ago as a 14-year-old. And I guess going back to those days, in one sense, what in the world are you thinking signing a 14-year-old kid? Can you kind of explain that process? Obviously, the lineage is quite clear. But what was it about that? And did anybody try to talk you out of like cooling your jets, or were you afraid that if you didn't sign him, you're going to lose him to another manufacturer?
I won't name any names at our company, but I think a lot of people thought I was nuts. But no, you see a kid like that, and actually, James Finch told me, "Have you seen Chase Elliott drive?" And I said, "No." He said, "Man, he's whipping all these guys on dirt." And so I started getting some videos, and then I called Bill, and they came down, and we talked, and I just watched him in those late models. And then actually I saw one of the races he was racing, Kyle Busch. And, just the way Bill Cindy had raised him and what a polished young guy he was, and had a lot of talent. I thought, man, he's just 14 years old. So we can sure want to take a chance if we can to, you've got to find a guy like that early. And I think it was a combination of skill, pedigree, and just a sharp young man.
And also, just to check, you referenced Chase and Jimmy both will be in the 24 hours Rolex at Daytona, and a little bit more information. Are you going to be involved in that in any way, or is that with a different team?
Maybe I jumped the gun on that. I'm not 100% sure. I heard a rumor, okay, so I can't confirm that.
Thank you very much. Congrats.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take our next one from Stephen Conley, PRN. Go ahead, Stephen.
Rick, we hear a lot from drivers saying that they're never sure when their next win is going to come. Do you have that same feeling? It's been 4 years since your last championship. Were you starting to wonder when's that next one coming as far as titles?
Yeah, it's so hard to win a race out here, and you look at the talent that's out here today and in the sport. And if you have like in this race today, a flat tire, a slow pit stop, anything could cost you a championship. So you don't have any buffer. It's just hard to win these things, hard to win races. But, it has been a dry spell, and it's got a little old going to the finale and not having a car in it. So we're very proud of our guys for getting there, and Chase for winning Martinsville, and then coming back today and winning the whole deal. And what's really special is that he had to go to the back, which I was scared that he would get swept up in something, but to go to the rear and then come back and have to run those three guys that he did all day long and couldn't make a mistake. Guys in the pits couldn't make a mistake. So it was, this sport's hard. You look at Kevin Harvick, the kind of year he's had, and everybody thought you're going to have to beat him, and he didn't make the Final Four. So it's a pretty competitive deal, but glad to get this one.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take one from Mark Garrow next.
Thank you. Congratulations, Rick, on another championship. What's it feel like? I know this probably doesn't help your blood pressure to have your teams hit 2 walk-off home runs at the end of the year, when it's all on the line to make it in and then to win the championship. So what's it like to have a team on the razor's edge come through?
Well, it's a nail biter and nerves. Martinsville, if TJ, our jack guy, didn't go back and touch the wall, we wouldn't have been able to have a shot of winning the race in Martinsville. And, then, I like the walk-off deal. That's pretty cool. And then you come here in the finale, and you got to go to the rear, and you work your way back through the field, and you end up leading the race and pulling away at the end. So it was a great day. And, I think, again, I go back to Kevin Harvick, 3 or 4 races prior to the end of the year. They were probably thinking, hey, we'll be in Phoenix, one of my best tracks, and I get another championship. But man, you can't bank on anything in this sport anymore, because you can be as good as anybody out there, better, and the cards don't fall your way in the race. You're out.
Does it ever get old, winning races and winning championships?
No. I wouldn't be doing this at my age if that guy was old. I'll tell you that. No, it's I just really love to see young guys in our company have an opportunity to go out and do something really special. And I love seeing Chad Knaus now become competition director, and then Jeff Andrews, who's worked so hard for us for so many years, and he's general manager now. And so Marshall Carlson and all the guys at Motorsports do a heck of a job. But when you see these young guys that are young engineers become crew chiefs and then become champions, and you see young drivers win races like William or Alex, and you think about their age and how much they have ahead of them, it makes me feel pretty old, because I can remember when I met Jeff Gordon at 21 or 2, whatever it was, 20. And now, it's time moves on, but it never gets old. If you don't have that winning, wanting to win, keep the momentum going in your company. And I owe it all to a lot of good folks that work hard every day, and just watching them be successful that's a tremendous satisfaction for me.
All right, we're going to take our next question from Jim Utter. Go ahead, Jim.
Congrats, Rick. I'll ask a similar question that I asked to Alan. You obviously known you've had a talented driver in Chase, but was there anything that you've noticed over the last 2 weeks, last week and today specifically, that you think that you've seen him do that may carry forward both him and the team to future success?
Yeah, I think they don't get rattled. And Chase, at his age, to be as calm as he is. And if you heard him on the radio when the race started, he had to go to the rear. He said, okay, guys, let's have some fun. And Alan was just as calm as a cucumber. And they had a lot of confidence coming into this race today, a tremendous amount. And, you gotta believe in yourself. And man, they did. And they did it. They pulled it off. And they were confident in Martinsville. And we had a couple of situations that could have put us out of the deal. And but I think that's the maturity of the team and Alan and his crew, that they're soldiers. They work well together, and Chase believes in them. They believe in Chase. So I can't believe they're as calm as they were today, especially having to start in the rear.
And this might seem like a silly question since you won the championship, but when you look back on this season with everything that took place, and you guys made a lot of changes in the off season, hoping to get better, how do you feel as an organization that you weathered the storm this year?
Well, if you go look at the year started, and we were really running well. Chase and Alex both Chase had a valve stem issue, a flat tire, one of the stages, I think it was in Vegas. They ran good in several places, leading on the last lap or two at Darlington. And so the cars had speed. And then the middle part of the year, we kind of slowed down a little bit. And then toward the end, we picked up the momentum again. But it's been a crazy year. We did, trying to tell your sponsors, hey, we're going to race, and they can't come to the track. And thankfully, all of our sponsors hung in there and supported us. And, you didn't know if you were going to run all the races. And NASCAR did a heck of a job dealing with all these states and governors and rules changing daily and telling them they could and they couldn't and all that. And then to come through it, and Jimmy was the only driver that tested positive, I guess, that, knocked him out early. But, if you think about it, it's been an awesome year, good racing. And I think our sport has probably done better, as well as or better than any of the other sports. So we got them all in. And, hopefully we'll get a vaccine and have fans back. It's good to see the fans that were here and see how excited they are. And so I think our sport's really healthy, very competitive. I mean, it's just super competitive. And I think we got a bright future ahead of us and a lot of young talent.
Thanks, Rick. Have a good off season.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take our next one from Cole Kusmana. Go ahead, Cole.
Hey, congrats, Mr. H.
Thank you.
Me departing and Chad moving off the pit box. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, repeat that. He broke up.
Okay. With Jimmy departing and Chad moving off the pit box, how important was this win for Hendrick Motorsports as a whole moving forward? And is there a new sense of leadership in Chase and Allen to kind of begin to fill those voids left by Jeff and Jimmy?
Yeah, for sure. Allen's one of our senior guys, probably the most senior crew chief. Chad's done an excellent job, but now he can help all the teams, being the competition director. Allen still wants to be a crew chief, and he's got a real horse in Chase. But we split those guys up, Jimmy and Chad. But to go to the racetrack in Daytona next year and not seeing Chad on the box and Jimmy in a car is a big adjustment. But I went through it with Jeff Gordon. I went through it with Dale. Went through it with Terry Labonte and a lot of other drivers along the way. And, you have to adapt and change. And I think the good news is that Chad's moving up to help the whole organization. And so he's not leaving. He'll be there. And Jimmy wants to do some things and a bucket list that he wants to go after. And so we're real happy for him and his family. But, I feel good about our company. We got young crew chiefs, young drivers, and they're super competitive. And I think we'll be good for years to come.
Thank you, sir. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take our next one from Michael Shelton. Go ahead, Michael.
Yes, Michael Shelton, the Checkered Flag Podcast. Congratulations, Mr. H. 13th title for you. I'm sure that each one is special to you in their own way, but this is the first title you've won with a driver whose father was also a NASCAR Cup champion. So just what does this title mean to you to see Chase Elliott win the same title that his legendary father did?
I think what's so exciting today is see how excited Bill was and Cindy. You don't see Bill get excited very much. And man, he was pumped. I thought that was super special. And I think there's only been 3 father-son champions. And so it's special to be able to be a part of that. And, again, Bill and Cindy did a great job with Chase. And he's a racer, smart. He's just so much like his dad. He understands the chassis, understands the car, super, laid back. Not when I say laid back, not driving the car, but they let their actions on the track do the talking for them, and which I'm impressed with the way Chase is. He doesn't let it get to his head. He's same kid that always, he's way more mature, but he still loves the people, thanks the team. Just a great young man. He's going to be a great ambassador for our sport, being the champion this year.
All right, we'll take our next one from Jeff Magliochetti. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hi, Mr. H. Congratulations on another Cup Series title. Today was a bit of an end of an era for another driver in that Alex Bowman will be moving from the 88 to the 48 next season, and also that you will have two other young drivers on your side, in Kyle Larson and William Byron. So what can you say about the job Alex has done, and what's the biggest lesson you're going to take from this unusual season into navigating the future?
Well, I think what you have to do, what everybody in the sports had to do, is call an audible. You had to change on the fly. You had to run races in the middle of the week. But I do like our lineup for next year. I like all of the drivers and crew chiefs, and I think Alex has done a super job. I'm super happy too that Ally likes Alex and wanted him to take over the reins of the 48. So, pretty excited about that. And Alex has really shown a lot of talent. And so I'm excited about watching him. And William, he won his race this year. He was running really good today. I think he finished sixth. I think it was sixth, I believe. And, putting he and Rudy together again, I think that's going to be exciting. And Larson, we know what he can do. So he and Cliff will be a good combination. So I'm excited about next year.
Thank you, sir. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Mr. H, thank you so much for taking some time with us. We're going to bring in our championship driver, Chase Elliott, here shortly. So we will let you go. Thank you for taking time with us. Congratulations and have a great off season.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All righty, to our media. We're going to toss it over to the media center here shortly when Chase arrives. So if you do have a question for Chase, feel free to click the participants tab and raise your hand, get in the queue there, and we will get started as soon as we are joined.
Test 1 2 1 2 for Media Center and Zoom. Mercy, you got me?
Yep, loud and clear.
Thank you. So I just did a test. Hey, man, thanks. We'll close that. Okay, the man is here, man of the hours. We are now joined by the 2020 NASCAR Cup Series champion, and that is Chase Elliott. We have several questions lined up here. We will get to them first. Wanted to throw out a quick stat. Credit to my colleague Amanda Ellis on finding this one. Last time most popular driver won the championship was 1988, and that was your father, Bill Elliott. So that's kind of a cool stat to tie this all together. And we'll kick it off right now to some questions. If you have one, raise your hand in Zoom. Physically raise your hand in the room, and we'll get to as many as we can here. We'll kick off with Dustin Long. Go ahead, Dustin.
Thank you, Chase. I'm curious, is that throughout your racing career, when you've looked at the champions in other series or even looked up to them, I'm curious, what did you see in things that stood out to you about what a champion was? And I know you've already won an Xfinity championship, but what do you hope people see out of you now being a Cup champion?
Yeah, it's a great question. I look at the guys who have achieved this honor as guys who perform in the toughest of situations. And I felt like that's been an area that we haven't done a great job of over my first 5 years, really up until last week. And we had a tough situation, a performer go home type night there at Martinsville, and was able to step up and really get the job done. And I thought that was the piece of the puzzle that we haven't had. And I really felt like we had everything else that we needed, and I really believe that. So last week was a big week, and I think it was a great practice session and a situation that really helped guide us through today and in preparation and execution.
What do you feel like changed the last 2 weeks? Why did you suddenly become this guy that can handle it in the pressure situations?
Heck, I don't know. I feel like we just put a lot of emphasis on the things that matter and really just didn't care about anything else. And, there's just so much distraction in the world. Everybody's tied to their phones, and, you can get a hold of anybody anytime. And there's just so many things and from the outside that can reach someone. And, that's one thing that I felt like our whole team just did a better job of, was just boiling down to the things that matter. And ultimately it's, how good of a job do we do building that car? How prepared am I coming into a race weekend, and how do we execute it? And I feel like those three things we put more emphasis on than we ever have. I feel like I was mentally locked in better than I've ever been. And yeah, I think the results showed.
Thank you.
Yep.
Next, we'll go to Mark Garrow. Go ahead, Mark.
Thank you, Mark Garrow, PRA. Congratulations, Chase.
Thank you.
What's it feel like, or for you personally, to come through with, as I described to both Mr. H and Alan, talking about the same thing, to hit 2 walk-off homers in a row? So you hit a walk-off homer to win the division championship, and you just hit a walk-off homer to win the World Series. What's it feel like to have that kind of emotional high and come through, as you were talking about before, under these kind of circumstances?
Yeah, just crazy. Heck, how could you? I'm not sure I could have sat down and drawn it up any better. So I just, for me, it's unbelievable. It's something that I'm not sure I know I haven't let it sink in yet. I'm waiting on it to hit me, and I'm going to break down and look like a fool here in a minute. I know it's coming, so I really hope I get done with all this media before that happens. But, just so grateful for the opportunities and things that I've had over the years. Great people, my mom and dad, and their support obviously has been there from the beginning. Mr. Hendrick came in and really changed my life when he wanted to help. And then, not to sound like a NASCAR driver, but Napa Auto Parts too, coming in when they did. I mean, 2014 wouldn't have happened without them and the championship that came that season. And man, they've been a champion partner for years, and now they have a championship to go with it. So very grateful for a lot of great people, and more people than I named that have got me here today.
Can you explain what the emotion is, how high this emotion is? Last week you were in the car screaming. Was this a different kind of emotional scream or situation today?
Similar, just bigger, just like this is as big as it gets. I mean, my goodness, a champion in NASCAR in the Cup Series. I mean, are you kidding me? Like, it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts.
Next, we'll go down here. We'll go take 3 questions with Media Center. We'll go Alex, Cole, and then Cameron, and then Dominic.
Hey, Chase, congratulations. That moment when Jimmy drove up to your car afterwards, he said he couldn't quite remember what he said to you during that time. I'm wondering if you remember and what sort of that moment symbolized for you.
Yeah, we were just screaming, or I was screaming. I don't know what he said, but I know we high-fived each other, and that was really cool. So yeah, in that moment, actually, there was a photo that had sat around my parents' office for years. I think it was 2001, if I'm not mistaken. 01 or 02, Dad won the race at Homestead, and Matt Kenseth won the championship. And y'all can fact check me on that, but I think it was 01. Or maybe, I don't know, whenever Matt won his champion. 03? Okay, so he won the race, Dad won the race, and Matt won the championship. And there was a photo that sat around of them high-fiving in their cars as they were driving by. And I saw Jimmy kind of taking his victory lap up there, and that picture flashed in my head, and I was like, damn, that would be super, super cool to recreate that moment. So yeah, we did. I really hope somebody took that picture because that was really cool. So I hope somebody got it, but that was really what sparked that and what made me want to go do it.
Next up, we'll go to Cole.
Hey, Chase, congrats. Cole Cusimano with Popular Speed. Jimmy had mentioned he spoke with you and Alan pre-race about when he won the race and the championship in 2016, his final championship, obviously. You did the same today, carrying the neon yellow 9 in his honor. Yeah. So what did that mean for you to achieve that feat in your first attempt? And was that kind of like a passing of the torch in a way?
Yeah, I guess we should just change our colors to neon all the time. Kind of what I'm thinking. But yeah, today I feel like symbolizes a lot of great things, and I feel like there's a lot of things from today I'll look back on, in a week or a month or year, and I'll be like, dang, that was really cool. So that being one of them for sure. Jimmy and I have shared some really cool moments on track, and they've been in really big moments of my career. The moment we shared after Watkins Glen, the road to that first win, and then for the greatest of all time to be kind of hanging it up today and to win a championship on that day. I mean, that's just a really cool thing. And as a fan of his, number one, and as a person that's looked up to Jimmy in many ways over the years, I'm not sure I could have dreamt of that any better.
Cameron Richardson, the Lumberjack. Chase, congrats. With all the craziness this year has brought, what was the most difficult obstacle you had to overcome on your path to the championship?
Yeah. I think for us, it's just been kind of getting over the hump in those big moments. Something that we've done a okay job of at times, but not something we've been able to do with authority. And I really thought, performing like we did last week at Martinsville was a really big deal. And then performing like we did today, I thought was a really big deal. So finding that groove and finding that comfort in those big moments, I think is huge. And that's something that, we can take this and grow from further. And I'm really excited about that. And I'm really proud of my team for stepping up in big situations and getting it done.
Next, we'll go to Michael. Go ahead, Michael.
How did you get the news about the penalty? Who told you, and what was your first thought when you heard that?
Yeah, Morgan told me. She's a part of our team, and she kind of let me know that we'd failed twice. And my first thought was like, oh, we're going to lose our pit pick too. Like that was the first thing in my head. I'm like, oh dang, we're going to lose that first pit box. Like, I really don't think, starting position is great and all, whatever. I feel like from that standpoint, but that pit pick is huge. That starting position stays with you. It could potentially be done when you leave turn 2, but that pit pick stays with you till the race is over. So the first thing that really kind of stuck in my head was like, dang, we're going to lose that too. And then once I kind of realized that we didn't, I'm like, okay, if we have our car good and our balance is right, who cares if you start last for the race 312 laps, that's no excuse to not get the job done. I feel like if your car is driving good. So, just took it for what it was and enjoyed that we still had that first pit box and got going.
With the retirement of a lot of the problems with drivers in recent years, you three will have been referred to as one of the new faces of NASCAR. Now with the champion, a lot of people will consider you as the new face of NASCAR. Are you comfortable with that?
I don't know that that's really for me to say who is or isn't the face of something, but, and from where I sit, it's a performance industry, right? It's entertainment from the outside looking in, but what makes my living is performing or not. So I think me performing at a high level is going to take me a lot further in life than being the face of something. So my focus is on doing my job, and that's to drive a car to its full potential every week, as long as I'm hired to do so. Yeah, thanks.
Dominic Ottogona with the Racing Experts. When you look back on this season, what would you say are some of the biggest lessons you have learned as a race car driver?
Man, y'all got some tough ones today. Heck, I don't know. I know I kind of keep coming back to last week, but I just think about last week and the things that kind of brought and the emotions that came with that. I guess a big lesson I've learned over the past couple of weeks is, if you believe you can do something and you put the preparation and you put your head in the right place, you can go and accomplish great things. And I felt like I was in a better mental state, over the last couple months than I've been in the past. I felt like I was locked in, and that's great, right? Like being locked in doesn't just guarantee you to do good. And I understand that. Everybody's locked in, I feel like, when you get to this point, but those things certainly helped. And I think that helped me to get to another level. And I look forward to building on that and trying to improve.
And 60 years from now, when you're sitting on the rocking chair thinking back on this night, on this championship run, what are you going to remember the most?
Just exactly that, like when I'm dead and gone and my dad's dead and gone, he and I will share a championship with the last name Elliott for forever. And I don't think it gets any cooler than that, in my opinion.
Next, we'll go to Jerry Jordan. Go ahead, Jerry.
And Chase, Jerry Jordan kicking the tires on that first. That photo's on Twitter. I'll make sure you get the actual real copy of it.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm excited about those.
Not a problem. I'll make sure you get that. Second, can you talk about, did you think this day, this race, not the championship per se, but the race itself would get here with everything that's gone on this season, where you just was there kind of a sigh of relief when you came in here today and you knew that this was the finale, win, lose, or draw? This was 2020 for you.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. And, I think last week was that for us too. And I put a lot of emphasis on that. And I talked about it a lot. And I challenged myself to realize that too. It wasn't the championship no. But it was a perform or end your season. Yes. And that's the same thing as it is today. This is such a unique format. I did think about today when I woke up this morning, I was just thinking about my kind of career and the things I've gone through in racing. And it's just such a unique way for racing to be. There is no other, there was nothing through my racing career that, took 16, then to 12, and then to 8, and then to 4. And it was just super interesting. I just thought about it and I was like, dang, it's such a unique thing. And it's such a new perspective on racing that we have not had from, being a competitor. All my years of doing this, in short tracks and things of that nature, there's just nothing that really felt like that. There were big races, but heck, the Daytona 500 is a big race. So it's just such a different feel as you kind of dwindle it down. And, it makes you kind of understand, I guess, what other sporting figures and athletes feel like, because that is more similar, I guess, to their situation. It's different. And in some situations, some people might not like it, and I understand why. But from a competitor standpoint, dang, it is different. There's not a lot that really prepares you for it, until you get to NASCAR.
Thank you. Congratulations, bud.
Thanks.
Next, we'll go to Steve Hummer. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, Chase. I'm just wondering, being a champion, a NASCAR Series champion, does that change? That'll change perceptions, obviously, outside your world of who you are. Does it change your perceptions yourself as a driver?
I don't know that it changes. I don't know. I don't know what it changes, to be honest with you. I'm not really sure that I realize what has happened today. So ask me when we get to Daytona if it changed anything for me or not, because I don't know right now.
Well, can I ask you about the emotion in the car right after the race? The in-car camera caught you kind of teary-eyed, and what prompted that?
Yes, I mean, this is a moment that heck I've only dreamt about, and something that heck I'm still not sure I completely realize what has exactly happened, but I just I don't feel like I'm a crier in these situations, but dang, I feel like there's going to come a time where I'm probably going to break down and really lose it. I feel like I kind of did there after the race, and then you get caught up in everything else that's going on. So I'm really looking forward to just kind of sitting back and looking at everything from a different perspective and just, enjoying it. But I'm also going to enjoy it as I'm living it, because this is something that may not ever happen ever again. And I recognize that. And it's a moment and a time and an accomplishment that I will never, ever, 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 ever take for granted. And, it's a really big deal to me.
Thank you much.
Next, go to Lee Spencer. Go ahead, Lee.
Thank you. Chase, congratulations first, but just curious, Rick Hendrick handed you a phone. Who was on the other end?
Yeah, Jeff Gordon. Jeff was on the other end. There was only so many people allowed this weekend, and I was grateful to have my family, and as you have family and partners and Mr. Hendrick and whatnot, there was only so many spots, and Jeff was gracious enough to stay back home and just really appreciate him calling and reaching out and saying what he did. It's a big moment for both of us. I think it's kind of unique and special for he and I, because we both work with Alan, and he had a run in a championship with Alan, and things didn't work out. And I think he's probably one of very few people that respect AG the way I do and believe in him like I do. And So I think he just knows how big of a deal it is for him. And, he's been a championship crew chief for a long time. It just took until today to actually have the title next to his name. But, man, I'm proud of him. And I'm, I wouldn't want to go to war with anybody else.
That was my next question for you, was just talk about Alan. I mean, he came close with Jeff. He came close with Mark. You guys finally got him to that championship. What is it about his character, his determination? I mean, we could all go on, but what is it that makes him so unique?
Well, I think the bottom line about Alan is he wants it more than you, and he is going to work harder than you to go get the job done, period. He's an intense guy, and he's going to outwork you to get it done. I guarantee it. And I've seen that for a long time. And I'm very, very glad that he can quit and be done and be a champion, because he, I don't deserve shit. I don't feel like, but I feel like if anybody deserves anything, it's him. And I'm very proud of him for that.
Thank you. And thank you for your honest assessment.
Thanks.
Next, we'll go to JB Ricks. Go ahead, JB.
Hey, Chase, JB Ricks from Spectrum News 1. Congratulations on the championship. I wanted to ask you, with you being so young, 24 years old, and getting your first championship and doing it the same year that Jimmy Johnson, ends his Hall of Fame career, with his seven championships. Do you gain any inspiration off of that at all, as far as the type of Hall of Fame career that you want to build now that you got your first one out of the way already?
Man, I don't, and right now I'm just enjoying today, and it's certainly easy to look ahead and kind of think what's next. But if there's one thing I've learned so far today, I feel like when you win a championship, it's enjoy now. And I'm going to do that. And I will worry about 2021 and beyond when 2021 gets here. And I'm not gonna sweat it right now.
Next, we'll go to Davey Siegel. Davey?
Chase, you said that earlier this week you had no idea what car Alan was bringing. You didn't really worry about any of that. With no practice or qualifying, I assume that you didn't have any worry about it rolling off the truck being fast. There were no second thoughts there?
No, I mean, I didn't have any second thoughts for sure. And I don't even know. I couldn't tell you what car we ran today currently. I have no idea. But, I know that when we started the race today, it was in the ballpark. We fell off. I felt like on a couple runs there, Brad got by us, and the next adjustment was good, and the last one was even better. And that's all you can ask for.
He's talking about you're going to soak this in. So what are the celebration plans like? Are you going back home, or are you staying in Phoenix for the night?
Man, good question. I'm going to stay here tonight. I feel like it's late, kind of 7. So I think I'm going to stick around here tonight and enjoy a night in Phoenix here in November 8th of 2020. And then, I guess I'll go home tomorrow and I don't know, figure out what's next. I'm looking forward. I'm going to try to do some racing over the off season, which I'm excited about. And I haven't really spent an off season racing before. So looking forward to doing that, but heck, I'm going to enjoy it. We did it. It's done. That's it. Here we go.
Good deal. Congrats. Soak it in. Thank you.
Oh, are they? Okay, perfect. Hey, listen, I'm down. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I feel like the town of Dawsonville should just exempt all work and school tomorrow. I think it'll be really cool. I can't wait to get home. It's actually funny that this week, the past couple weeks, I really didn't know where we were going to start. And as I was driving to the airport, I passed the pool room on my way. And on the way, they have, where I'm starting on the sign. So that's, as you know, I'm not on social media right now. So I'm like, hell, here we go. Hey, we're starting wherever this week, which was really cool. So I like that. I like figuring it out on the way to the airport and let the pool room let me know. So excited for them. What a cool tradition they've carried on for a long time, and grateful for the Perkle family, and I'm glad that all those great people can experience this with me.
Next, we'll go to Stephen Conley. Go ahead, Stephen.
Congratulations, Chase. Jimmy was in here earlier talking about what his conversation with you, and before the race told you that he had to start in the back prior to his final championship. I'm wondering if that's helped kind of set your mind at ease going through everything that had to happen today, and then made the job a little easier at hand.
Yeah. The last text message I saw before the race was from Jimmy, and he said, the road to the top, I forget what he said, but he said something about the road to the top can have some twists in it. I hate you guys are having to start in the back, but you can get it done. And that was the last thing I saw before the race. So certainly appreciate his support. He's been a great support system this week. I've talked to him multiple times. He's reached out on a couple occasions, and which is really cool. So very, very, very thankful. I mean, he's a hero of mine. I think he'll go down as the greatest to ever do this mess. And, for that type of guy to be reaching out, lending support and genuinely wanting you to do good, I mean, hell, what else can you ask for?
And you said earlier that you've been dreaming about this moment. Has it lived up to those dreams and expectations?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, absolutely. And far surpassed. Grateful cameras and all the stuff's great, as good as it is nowadays, because we get to keep these moments and cherish them for forever. So, looking forward to it.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thanks.
Next, we'll go to Marty Seleka. Go ahead, Marty.
Thank you very much. Chase, congratulations, man, on your first ever championship. I asked you last week, earlier in the week during Media Day on how cool it would be with Bill winning the championship in '88, like all those similar LA teams, and you now in 2020.
Yeah.
That's finally happened now. What do you think, and
You're
how
right.
cool is it?
Well, I still think stats are for losers. I said that during the week. And that's one of those stats that just don't do you any good, I feel like, to think about throughout a week. But yeah, that's really interesting. 1988 was a good year, I guess, for the Elliots. I wasn't around for it, but I heard it was really cool.
And also, sorry.
2020 certainly is now too.
And what you just said about the town of Dawsonville, thinking they should get an exemption. I looked back at your tardy slip from 2014, back when you were in high school, on the Daytona 500. You'd stay up. The day would be called off because of junior. Is this what you're kind of feeling now tonight, similar to that?
Heck yeah. For sure. If I had to go to school tomorrow, it ain't happening. There's no doubt about that. So, for sure. Really big deal to me. And to be honest with you, there's really not a bigger deal to me than this and today. So, like I said, I'm not going to take it for granted.
Enjoy it, man. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Next, we'll take one from Stephen Toronto. Go ahead, Stephen.
Chase, on the subject of Dawsonville, you are the latest NASCAR champion from Georgia, and obviously you've got everything going on in Dawsonville. You also had UGA Athletics congratulate you on the championship on Twitter. How much civic pride do you take in being that person to not only represent the state of Georgia, but also bring the championship back there?
Yeah, so cool. I mean, I know, listen, I'm as big of a Braves fan and as big of a Dogs fan as you're going to find, and I know the past few weeks have been rough, right? The Braves losing to the Dodgers after being up 3-1, but, I guess it all happens for a reason. If that didn't happen, we wouldn't have the cool stat y'all just told me about the Dodgers and the Lakers and Dad winning in '88. So I hate that it came at the expense of the Bravos for sure, but selfishly, I'm happy the way today turned out.
Thank you. Congratulations, and go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
I know that we have a number of questions left, but that is all the time we have with Chase. Congratulations on your championship. those in Zoom, have a great night. Thank you for your coverage, and we'll see you in Daytona.
See you there. Thanks. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thanks to all of our media. I'll have all the transcripts, audio, and video posted here shortly. So thank you guys so much.